Hello, fight fans. This is Coach Nathan of NS Champ 7 Power Boxing Series at nschamp7.com with a preview of tonight's World Lightheavyweight Title Showdown between WBC and IBF champ Artur Beterbiev versus WBO champ Joe Smith Jr. Now, this fight is going to be held tonight live at Madison Square Garden and televised on ESPN. Beterbiev is 17-0 with all by way of knockout. He's a fearless seek and destroy puncher who knows how to cut off the ring and really sit down on his punches. And he does this with leverage, which is using your body mechanics to increase your punching power, putting more body into your punches as opposed to brute strength. He also throws good combinations and is an outstanding finisher. On the other hand, Joe Smith Jr. has the power to hurt or cut Beterbiev, but he's going to have to fight a smart, disciplined attack with the use of feints, the jab, movement, making the most out of his slight height and reach advantage. And then unload the power shots. Marcus Brown had some success with this, and he's not the puncher that Joe Smith is, but he had some success with this style in the early goings of his fight against Beterbiev in December, until he got cornered in the corners and up against the ropes, where Beterbiev was more able to land his power shots. Some folks could look at Joe Smith Jr. and say he doesn't have the style to pull this off. But, folks, that's what your 9 to 12 weeks of training camp is supposed to be about. Training camp is to build your conditioning, strength, speed, agility, punch output, but it's also to formulate a game plan as best as possible according to your opponent's specific strengths and weaknesses. If Smith just goes out there leading with hooks and right hands in a straight line in front of Beterbiev with an "I'll catch him before he catches me" attitude, this fight won't go 4 rounds. And I'm talking about Smith getting knocked out. One of the differences between good fighters and great fighters is that great fighters have an ability to adapt to different styles and situations inside that ring. And this is not done by osmosis either. For instance, if a guy has a good jab, how do you take that away from him? If he's a good puncher, how do you offset that punching power? Well, one way is to keep him reaching or turning by using angles and movement so he can never get set as opposed to standing right in front of him. Well, this is all done in practice throughout your 9 to 12 weeks of training camp. That's why, unless Smith pulls off the upset, the Bivol fight in the fall looks so attractive and it looks more competitive because Dmitry Bivol is a more well rounded fighter. So, despite Smith's puncher's chance to win, because he definitely has one, I predict a mid round stoppage in favor of Artur Beterbiev, unless Smith does what I just described to set that punching power up. So, that's my take on the fight, folks. But don't forget, for elite boxing instruction and elite boxing analysis and elite boxing philosophy, check me out and subscribe to nschamp7.com. Enjoy the fight.